Hello, I'm Apocrypha from APOC Industries, and this is episode 30 of the Ashlands. Previously, we had found some oil, but it is very, very heavily guarded. So what we decided to do was to work on our armory, um, and that's what we're doing today. So between episodes, I got these trains all set up, so we have resources ready to come in. I'm not 100% sure that this is kind of like the ideal way to do what needs to be done, but it's how we're going to do it. So we are basically going to have a small bus of materials. Right now it's going to be 4 lanes, but it could be upgraded to 8 lanes once these trains get upgraded and all that kind of stuff. And those resources are going to go in and feed machines or assemblers that look kind of like this, making things like ammo, etc., etc. So that's where we're going to start. The very first thing that we need to make is armor-piercing ammo, and we are going to be making a ton of armor-piercing ammo, which is going to probably use up all of our resources. That's the plan anyway, because the armor-piercing ammo, whereas the normal ammo does 5 plus 1 physical, the bullet-piercing or the armor-piercing rounds do 8 plus 1.6, which is like a lot more. I don't know. It works a lot better against the kinds of foes that we are going to be running into. So for every one assembler making armor-piercing rounds, these take 3 seconds. We need 1 assembler making regular rounds. We also need, for these, 1 steel plate and 1 copper plate. We could probably get by with red belts by combining the steel plates and the firearm magazines into 1 belt, so that's what we're going to do. So that'll look something like this. We'll have an output belt of these. The steel will come in like this, which looks, it's kind of ugly. But that's how we have it. So we're going to pretend like it's actually going to come out here so that it's not as ugly. Oh, no, wait. I was just doing that wrong. There. Okay. Except it actually needs to come in on the other side. We know what we're doing. We are trustworthy. Okay, and this is going to be a full belt of iron that's going to be wholly consumed by these guys here. The other thing is going to be the armor-piercing machines themselves, which are going to be pulling from this belt, this combined belt of armor-piercing regular magazines and steel, and they're also going to be pulling from a belt of copper. They go through a lot of copper, so it'll be a full belt of copper for these guys. We might need to, we may even need to bump up the amount of copper that these guys are getting. And yeah, then we're just basically going to take this and make as many as we need to make. So with 2 regular magazine thingamajiggers, we need to have 6. We're going to do more. Let's do 12. So we will double this up as well. The other thing that we're obviously missing from this is the output. Whoops. And that is going to look like this. Eventually, we'll split these off to go into military science because these are one of the components of military science. But for the time being, we are going to just go bubba, 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 like so. And those will all end up on one side of the belt. So we want to get these onto the inside of the belt. So we'll also do this. There we go. And this is going to feed all the way over here. Not sure exactly how we want to do this. I'd like to have some boxes that are within reach of the train, if possible. We can reach boxes there, right? Yeah. So what we would like to do, perhaps, is something like this, where we can limit to an appropriate number of rounds, and have that come up this way. There we go. And this will have a large stockpile, and we don't really care about that. We also have a whole bunch of regular ammunition that we can use to fill this stuff in, because we are going to be moving entirely to armor-piercing rounds. Alright, so let's get this up and running first and foremost. And to do that, we are going to hook up our bus. There we go. You are going to be copper. You are going to be steel. And coal, we need that for grenades, but not quite yet. You're going to be a half a belt of steel. And you are going to be copper. Oops. What am I doing? I don't even need to do that. It's jumping over all this, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Should be 4. What's the problem? Oh, I don't have 2 spaces in between here. That's what the problem is. We're gonna fix that. So otherwise it looks ugly. So we should have 2 spaces here. There we go. What did I do? There we go. We got this. Half a belt of steel is coming from here, from there. There we go. That's jumping over 4. That's what we like to see. Yes. Okay. And we may or may not actually have enough belts to do this. I'm also going to pretend like all the belts are there even though they're not when it comes to jumping over, because otherwise we're going to forget. And the upper priority is always going to be on the left for these. Great. All right. So there we go. We should be making things, and we are. Fantastic. See if that's affected our power situation. It's unlikely that it has, but you know what? I want to make more. I want more. are adding another third, so another 2 of these, I guess. Yeah. Alright. And I think that that should hopefully be able to keep up. And if this is only outputting to half a belt, maybe that's okay. That may only be a half a red belt worth of ammunition. Cool. Ah, there we go. Fantastic. Feels good to have some better ammunition going. The other things that we need are going to primarily be dictated by what we need for military science, which includes grenades and gun turrets. And according to our ratio thingamajigger, we need maybe 4 machines making each. So let's plan around that. Well, we're gonna need more grenades. I haven't really been using grenades at all. They're good for clearing trees, but I don't really care about that too much. This takes in a whole bunch of coal and iron. Probably not a good idea to do a combined belt of coal and iron. These, well, let's make 4 assemblers worth of grenades. Let's just do that. Up, 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 up. And they can go on a single output belt. Up, 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 up. Grenades take a while to make. They take like 10 seconds. So at 10 seconds, they probably could honestly be a combined belt. But I don't want to make it a combined belt, so it's not going to be. Excuse me, Rock. There's that, and our coal is going to be coming in over here. Whoops. Do this in a way which is less ugly. Go, got coal coming in. And oh my goodness, I know how to play stuff. Seriously. There. And coal is going to be the only thing that we need for whoops, oh, dropping my mic. Grenades are the only thing that we need coal for, so that should be fine. I also noticed that we're going through a lot of copper. It's using up pretty much a whole half belt of this copper. Hopefully the rest will be okay to supply our need for whatchamacallits, turrets. But if it's not, it's not, and it's not going to be the end of the world. Because we have the ability to make bigger trains. Actually, what I mean is we already have 2 belts worth of copper coming down. We can just bring the other belt down. That won't be a big deal. Okay, what do you guys need? You need gear wheels, and you take forever to make. So I suspect that one line of gear wheels is going to feed you just enough. So if we wanted to be output, get rid of these guys for a sec here. Gear wheels. And that is going to be outputting onto a belt to be consumed by turrets. Wait, how many do these take? That's radars. That's not going to be very helpful. Let's do a combined belt of copper and gear wheels. Maybe? Let's try it. Let's try it. Worst case, it doesn't keep up. And then they also need a full belt of iron. How are we doing this? Right. Full belt of iron. And outputting onto an output belt of some sort. And we've run out of belts. Alright, you know where to get more belts. This is going to take a long while to stockpile. Ooh, look at all that. Lovely. Head back to Bootstrap. Grab some more belts. These bullets are going to be very helpful when we go to pick a fight with all of these biters. I'd really like to have tanks, but the problem with tanks is that we need to have blue science up and running. Now, in order to get that, we also need to have military 3, which takes 100 science pack 3, 100 military science packs. We don't even have the military science packs yet, and the blue science packs take plastic to make the advanced circuits. So we're not really in a good position to be able to even consider getting tanks yet. Alright, we're just heading right back. And then we'll take a look at what to do about military science, because we're going to have to set up a science facility somewhere that'll be able to take that as an input. All right. So we've got, this is meant to be, what do we say? This is going to be a half belt of copper. Yeah, half belt of copper and of gear wheels. Copper is going to come in like so. So you'll be copper. And again, we'll be jumping over. You are going to be iron. Whether or not you're a full belt is not really relevant, because you're not going to use that much. Okay. We'll see if half a belt can keep up. Well, at this point, it's not even half a belt. So, yeah, we will we'll bring down the other belt of copper. That's why we left room for it. There we go. It might be that that can keep up, but in the event that it can't, we now have a solution. Ta-da! Ta-da! Wait, this needs to be rebalanced afterwards, too. Yeah. Probably doesn't need to be rebalanced before, probably just needs to be rebalanced afterwards. Okay, there we go. Okay, and this was going to be... Wait, you're pointing the wrong way. Oh my goodness. How many of those do you need? A bunch. And you're going to be iron. Which we may run into a similar problem that we need to have both iron thingies, belts in here. Once they actually get producing, it's just a matter of whether they can keep up with the demand, and it looks like they can. Might need to put on another gear maker on here, actually. That is easy to do, though. Up. Although that really only helps the ones later down the line, doesn't it? So you need... So every 8 seconds, each of these needs... You know, we might just need to, like, direct insert these. These might each need dedicated... dedicated gear machine. Let's just do it. We're going through a lot of gears. So we can make solutions. And we make solutions like so. There we go. Now you can keep up. Okay, that's probably overkill. That's fine. The last thing that we need, or that we want to set up, rather, is our military science. And military science is going to be pretty straightforward. Probably actually going to make it down here somewhere. We still need to figure out exactly where we want to, like how we want to be able to deliver science places. I talked about the possibility of maybe extending out a train station just for picking up that military science. That might be an option. That wouldn't need a big train. That would just be like another very small train, like what we've got. So maybe that's what we'll do. Whoops! No, that's not helpful to anybody. So something like this. And then coming out here. And then having this be where the science will get picked up. So I think we actually have a color for that in our handy dandy cheat sheet. Military science. 200, 200, 255. Okay. 200, 200, 255. Okay. And we can call this armory military science pickup. And this is not going to be a station like other stations, because look, our path goes right through the middle of that. That's super gross. Let's not do that. Well, I'll clean this up later. The important thing is that we've now cut off power to everything. That's not very helpful, is it? There we go. The important thing is that this is going to be some chests like this. No, we're not even gonna be remotely stockpiling that much science. Not even a little bit. So like each of these are gonna be capped at, you know, maybe 400 science, maybe, because even if we're generating science at like 1 per second, then 800 is like 10 minutes worth of science. So we don't need to be stockpiling a whole lot. Well, let's be reasonable. Okay, and this can come in from somewhere here, and we will build the science along here somewhere. I don't think we have enough materials to build another train. We do, look at that. And a wagon, and this wagon will be very limited in capacity. It's only carrying military science. It doesn't have a destination yet, but it surely will at some point. The other thing that this needs is fuel, and its fuel is going to be coming from over here somewhere. Because we already have something that is used for refueling. Hooray! And we're going over time here, but I'm just gonna get this set up just so that it's done, and then I can do some cleaning up off camera. Oh my goodness. Too many rocks. Too many rocks. Okay. This is going to be coming here. So this will be armory military science pickup until inventory full. And we're stockpiling a bunch. And yeah. I might put together just a mini-sode of setting up the military science, because it is essentially going to be taking each of these outputs, slapping them into assemblers, making these, and then putting them into the train. It's not going to be a whole lot of stuff. And then we will, in the next episode, figure out where we're going to take that science. Because right now all of our science is going here. It may be that we want to deliver our military science over here somewhere. That might actually be the easiest thing to do right off the bat. Like have a temporary station in here that can drop it off. We'll see. Do that next episode. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you next time, and hopefully it won't be too long before we can come up here and tap all this oil, because, oh boy, we are limited in what we can do without oil.